What's going on, guys? Belair here. We are on Zen Point of View. This is from their semifinals, Game 7 against G2 Esports. What a series this was. Super back and forth. G2 get off to a really hot start. They're up 3-1. Vitality slowly crawl their way back in. And here we are in a pivotal Game 7. Why are we watching this older series, and why are we here with Zen? Well, for one, Zen might be the best player in the world. If it's not him, it might be someone on the other side of the pitch right now. And for two, I put out a tweet yesterday going through how I kind of see the power rankings of all the teams heading into the World Championship, and Vitality created a little bit of buzz. The funny thing, some people thought I had him too high. Some people thought I had him too low. Some people thought I had him just right. No, actually, nobody reaches out when they think you nailed it. Which, did I nail it? Of course. No, but, it's not like everybody has their own opinions. Mine definitely is not correct. Just my perspective. But that's enough yammering. Can I take you guys on a little bit of a historical trot, if you will? Let's hop in the time machine and go back to when Zen joined this roster after finishing serving out his suspension, sitting on the bench on ice for Vitality, as it were. They drop Seizen, and Zen joins the fold. Drop the Sei, pick up the Zen, and immediately they go on a tear. They win all three of their qualifiers in the spring split. They then go on to win the spring major, and would you look at that? They win the world championship after as well. Is there anything you can do to stop this team? No, they're the best in the world. As a matter of fact, I think Zen's the best player that we've ever seen. But wait, hold your horses. Off season, they finally lose something at Gamers 8. Hey, hard fought. It's not standard RLCS. Go next. This season, qualifier 1, semifinal and out. But hey, everybody's coming for the throne. You got to lose at some point. Maybe this is good for them. Give them a little bit of something to work towards. The job isn't done. And you lose to Gentlemates, who are a darn good team with a lot of talent, who ended up winning the Copenhagen Major. What are you going to do? Qualifier 2. Quarterfinals. Well, that's not very good. But hey, you lose to Carmine Corps. They ended up winning the tournament. They won the first tournament as well, so, that's a pretty good loss. But, again, we are Vitality, so we should probably win here eventually, right? Quarterfinal 3, they make a finals, and they lose it. It stings, but, they really, do these even matter, these regionals? Really, it's all about the lands, and so far, this trio is undefeated there, although they do now have Fairy Peak instead of Farah. They go to Copenhagen. They're semifinal and out. A stinger for sure. They definitely wanted to do a little bit better than that. They finally secure a win in Regional 4. Hey, guys, we're back. But they follow it up with a semifinal and then a quarterfinal. That's kind of going the wrong direction the way I look at it, especially when that quarterfinal loss was to Jobless, a team who you definitely should not be losing to. They go to London, and here we are. We are watching them now take on G2 Esports in a pretty critical matchup. And I'll just go ahead and spoil it for you guys. They're going to lose. EWC, they lose again in the quarterfinals. Is this team out of Magic? Has the ship sailed? Well, it's tough to say. One thing that I do know is that their record against some of the top competition in Europe is definitely not as good as it was last year. I think they were 7-1 against BDS last season. They're 0-2 against them. Quick pause to say it's kind of crazy that they've only played BDS twice. 2-0 against Oxygen, 3-1 against Gentlemates, but 0-3 against Carmine Corps. And where does all this lead me? Well, I think a couple things have really stood out for this season. If you're going, if you're going to look at the season in review for Vitality, I think one of the first couple lines or the first couple paragraphs has to talk about Furia, who they've matched up with 5 times, I think. And it's been a back and forth affair. Furia are great, and that rivalry has been excellent. I think one of the things that is a challenge with that is if Furia is kind of your big rivalry and your big matchup, a team who I'm kind of considering a dark horse, who I think would be a real shocker to everybody if they ended up winning this world championship. When that's kind of the team that you're really going head to head against, I think that kind of speaks to a dip in quality. But hey, it's too much to just call it on that. There are of course other factors. The rivalry has been ecstatic. And, just because you have a tough rivalry with somebody doesn't mean that you're at the exact same skill level. There's a lot of webs that kind of lead into that situation. I think the other thing that I wanted to highlight with a game like this is just the lack of poise that the team has shown when compared to their selves from last season. We, of course, have talked over most of this game, which might have been a mistake, but Radosin has had a couple of really rough mistakes that have led to excellent goal scoring opportunities here. A pass directly over to Atomic on the sidewall led to Daniel dropping a beautiful pass to beast mode that he was unable to convert. Zen has been very heavy-handed on a couple of touches, one that led us to overtime when he could have made something out of it, another where he was on an air dribble, tried to get the reset and just kind of bobbled it away, ended up putting his team in a tough position. A double touch off the sidewall that ended up being an excellent pass down into the box for G2 to try and make something of. And Alpha 54, I watched this game before I recorded. I honestly can't really tell you what he's done so far in this game, outside of a couple excellent saves. And to be fair, Radosin had a complete keep out in a 1v2 off of a squishy save that ended up saving them a goal. And I think a lot of Vitality season really can be encapsulated in this one play here. This is golden goal territory, game 7, next goal wins. We're rotating back here. We're going to find Zen in a second with full boost in his tank and nobody up in the air with him. The best player in the world with an incredibly deep bag who is known for being clutch is about to totally butterfinger this reset, hand it over. His teammates had so much faith and miscommunication with one another that they both completely overcommit and allowed G2 an incredibly easy roller the other direction. And I think that has really been an encapsulation of Vitality this season. Getting so close, putting yourself in familiar positions, but just kind of doubting yourself or being unable to put everything together when you really need them to. The weird thing is that this team statistically are better across the board. Alpha is up everywhere. Radosin is way up on his goals. Zen has stayed steady. He has dipped a bit as a passer, but hey, some of that is just, the accrual of games and the fact that Zen, we had a much smaller sample size of him last season. It's very easy to light the world on fire statistically for a split and then a couple of LAN events as opposed to the totality of a season. So really nothing stands out on the stat sheet that would make you say, aha, there is a glaring issue that I have found with Vitality. And I guess all of this talking that I've done over the last couple of minutes here, let me put down my notebook and just kind of give you guys a little talking to here. First and foremost, guys, I'm a professional, and it is my job to tell you what I'm seeing on the pitch and what that translates to. And it might hurt some people's feelings sometimes, but you got to be honest. And what I have realized about Vitality is that I have no idea what they're missing. Statistically, they're the same. They continue to put themselves in good situations. They 3-0'd Swiss when they were at which one was it? When they were in London. So it's not as though they're dropping games. They beat Gen G, they beat Furia, Copenhagen. They go round 5 Swiss, but they survive and end up making a pretty good run. They have all the results here, and they've kind of been around, but it kind of reminds me of the Golden State Warriors. And could I have hopped to another game instead of just talking like this? Sure I could have done that. But here we are, we're looking at Zen's butt while he's on the wall. And it reminds me of the Warriors, where once you win, A, everybody is gunning for you because you're the world champions, but B, um, success can be something that is hard to stay on top of. If you're Zen and you win your absolute first event, uh, I can imagine being that age and taking a little bit of a foot off the gas. If you're alpha and it was to a point where people were calling you FIFA 54 a couple seasons back, people were saying that you were the person who should be kicked off of this team and that you should retire. You're not even making main events, and then you come all the way back and win a world championship. I can see how you rest on your laurels for a moment and feel like you have your just desserts and, don't really push the gas as hard going into the off season. And if you're Redosin, a player who um, is able to be a part of this team and win something, and now you find yourself without an extended contract going into these tournaments where everybody is saying, the thing about Redosin is he's kind of like Turbo Pulsa. He's a little wily. He gets Redosin touches. Sometimes he's really on, and sometimes he's a little goofy and can cost you. There's a lot of pressure on him to perform in this environment, and I can see how that is incredibly stressful. Um, you have a new coach as well. I think Farah was very impactful for them. I don't necessarily think that the X's and O's of things, at least as I see it, is uh, a massive needle mover. I mean, we've seen that Carmine Corra struggled with him behind the helm this season, and Fairy Peak has kind of led them Vitality to good results here. But I do think that he was important for their mentality and kind of sucking away some of the gravity of these land situations. Um, all I'm saying is this team is complex in the same way all the other ones are, but that doesn't mean that I doubt them. Just because they've only won a single regional this season doesn't mean that I would be shocked at all if they find that magic and are able to kind of wind back the clock and get back to their winning ways and go back to back as champions. Really, nothing matters until this point, besides you making it here and then getting the job done. Um, but I think they're really going to need um, Zen to be more trusting of his teammates, pick his spots a little more. I think he knows that he is one of, if not the best player in the world. He had so much winning early in his career, and now to struggle and not get that, I think he can kind of force things sometimes, like we saw over the course of this game in a couple of plays that we highlighted. Think he needs to trust his teammates more. And in order to do that, he's going to need more from them, especially Alpha in this game seven to be fairly quiet. I haven't even looked at the scoreboard yet. But, we see that he's not really doing a ton here. They didn't score at all, so that's not really fair. But, you kind of need him as that kind of second banana to score for you. And yeah, I guess that's all of my thoughts. Vitality are a conundrum. I don't really know what to make of them. But with that said, I think I had them fourth on my power rankings of teams that I could reasonably see winning this whole thing. So I talked long enough to definitely to do two games here, but I guess that's what you get, guys. Really interested to hear below what your thoughts on Vitality are. Also, I hope the quality of the video is better. I've been hearing you guys' feedback for months now, and I've tinkered, but yesterday on that long video that was very well received, thank you all so much. We got some pretty good feedback about the frame rate, and I really tried to do some research and test it out a bunch. So maybe we're not at Johnny Boy Fear Hootie quality yet, but hoping we're getting there. So let me know if it's an improvement for you. I'd appreciate it. And yeah, I got a really cool video coming out tomorrow that I'm excited for you guys to see. I just wanted to get out some quick thoughts here to keep the content rolling because I've been so incredibly fortunate and appreciative to receive such kind remarks from all of you about keeping the content going and all that good stuff. And I hope that you guys out there make your own content. It can be difficult to put yourself out there and do something. I definitely struggled with a lot of fear of what people would think of my content, but also just, personal fear and self doubt that gets in the way. But the only way that you're going to improve, I have found, at least for myself, the only way that you're going to improve is by taking the first step. You can only improve by, putting something out there and then tinkering with it along the way. And my content is definitely different than where it was 2 years ago. So all of that to say, thank you guys so much for lending me your ears and your kind words in the comments. It means a lot. And guys, thank you so much for watching. Hope you have a great rest of your day. We're getting closer to Worlds, guys. It's exciting. I can feel it. And until next time, take it easy.